Hello, good day to you all, and Merry Christmas to anyone watching this video the day it's being released, or alternatively, anyone watching exactly 31 years after that day. Since I just hit 500 subscribers, thank you for that by the way, and since Christmas is the so-called season of giving, I'd like to give a shout out to some of the more underrated creators in the mapping genre. I imagine most of you haven't seen a mapping spotlight video since like 2017, or like ever, but I am personally a staunch defender of the idea that this trend should never have died off in the first place, scores and all. Quick disclaimer before I start, unlike some people, I won't be shouting out any mystery alt accounts. I won't be all like, wow, check out this underrated new mapper who is new and also underrated and is definitely new and had never done this before. As far as I can tell, these people are as real as it gets. The first mapper I'd like to spotlight is Safmapper, who is currently at 79 subscribers. The guy's main series is called Possibility, a combination between your typical AFOW and the Choose Your Own Adventure series of books. Each episode ends at the decision that you, yes you, the viewer, get to make, which changes the direction of the plot. Some of you may hear this and think, hey, didn't Procedure also do this? And yes, you're 100% right, Procedure is using a similar concept in his Chronicles series, which is also quite underrated, go check it out if you can. But Saf did it nearly a year before him, making him the Jar Jar to Proc's Batran, and also Proc is merely having his viewers vote on what happens. Saf is being all ambitious and planning to make a video for seemingly every single possibility. Anyways, on to the ratings. The plot so far gets an 8 from me. It's fairly standard, but I do like how he managed to set this only a few years into the future, but also create a proper balance between the East and West, since America has collapsed and the Russians and Chinese meanwhile were able to sort of bail the rest of the world out by developing the best COVID-19 vaccines. I also appreciate that it doesn't just start in the present day as well though. I also like how well the plot is built around the concept of player-based choices. Every choice you make, of which there are only one so far, since the series hasn't exactly gotten very far yet, has implications for pretty much every region of the world, meaning that not just the overarching plot, but the subplots too are being affected by this. Visuals I'm going to give a 7, they're passable, but nothing's really blowing my mind and making me post the exploding head emoji, though I am not enough of a cartographer to critique maps properly, so I'm not even going to try. I do like the changes list here though. Dialogue also gets an 8, it's pretty solid. The characters have clear motivations, you have your typical LARP monologues, etc, etc. Audio gets a 7, it's fitting, but it's nothing IRU haven't heard before. But originality, of course, is where the series shines through the brightest. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 9 for reasons stated previously. That gives Saf an overall score of 39 out of 50, quite a respectable score indeed. In terms of future content, Saf isn't the most consistent at uploading, and judging by his most recent update, it seems that Possibility's been put in the back burner for now, since he'll be working on, oh yes, I've been neglecting to mention this, but he's also got this, like, fantasy, alternate planet Femana type series he started a few years ago, and then cancelled, rebooted around a year ago. Honestly, it seems a bit generic so far based off the teaser, not really my thing if I'm being honest, but you can be the judge of that. Personally, I just think it's a shame that he's not putting his focus on the creative and unoriginal idea that is Possibility. Anyways, on to the next mapper. Next up is Murph King, who is currently at 86 subscribers and has recently started to work on his main series after a hiatus that lasted around a year. Smoke, which is the name of the series, takes place in what seems to be a post-apocalyptic Australia, where information is slowly fed to us instead of the series being a huge exposition dump. So for that, despite the only episode so far being the prologue, the plot gets a solid 8. Based off of Murph's previous version of the series though, I can only see that number going up over time. The visuals are good, a simple but fairly unique style that somehow makes white borders work, so Murph gets another 8 for that. Dialogue gets a 9, it's really well put together, and as mentioned before, information is fed at a good pace. Audio choice so far is really damn good, and I would go so far as to say it even helps you immerse yourself in the world of the series, so I'll give that a 9. Originality also gets a 9 for obvious reasons, and that gives Murph a total score of 43 out of 50. Overall, a very solid mapper who I'm surprised doesn't get more attention, especially considering he won Mapper Tournament 15 last year and also gets exposure from big man Brazilian mapping, and like, come on guys, his profile picture is a cow, his banner is like those usual edgy text ones except it just says moo, like you can't go wrong with this guy. Anyways, let's move on to our final mapper. I'm going to introduce this one with a short clip of the start of one of his videos. No, your eyes are not deceiving you. That is a fully pixelated 144p map of Europe, complete with fully pixelated country balls. Yes, those are also animations and sound effects used to recreate the exact feel of a retro video game. The absolute legend that painstakingly created all of this himself and has several videos in this exact style is a mapper known as the Pixelball, who currently sits at a criminally low number of 51 subscribers. Ever since his content was shared with me in a group chat, I've been resharing it around to my mapping friends, and now ye lot, my audience, will soon see the extent of this man's greatness. This guy has 2 series in different stages of production: Alternate Future of Biological Europe, which involves DNA manipulation and rapid technological progress in Europe's near future. This one has 3 episodes so far, with a 4th planned to be released soon, and Alternate History of Fiery Europe, a series set in a post-apocalyptic 1940, where after World War II began, a bunch of dragons suddenly appeared and obliterated everyone. Anyways, this guy managed to make an original World War II series in the best possible way, but unfortunately the only part of this up at the moment is a teaser trailer. Aside from that, there's also a couple of more comedic mapping videos on his channel that he made for testing out new software, which unironically made me laugh watching them. If Bob didn't exist, I'd have no issue calling these the funniest intentionally comedic mapping videos of all time. Anyways, on to the scores. The plot gets an 8. I love how unique both series are and how well they fit the pixelated style. Like, you get to see some crazy cool animations as a result of Biological Europe, and I imagine Fiery Europe will be similar. I also appreciate how the whole DNA manipulation scientific progress thing essentially throws typical realism out the window. It makes for a more fun series while also making logical sense. Quick shout out to BLG Studios, who Pixelball credits as the guy who helps out with his plots and also proofreads his scripts. Visuals get a 10 out of 10. I cannot stress how much I love this style. The little text animations, the peace treaties and the land annexations are gorgeous, but the highlight has got to be the occasional little animations he does on the map. You don't see this kind of quality in most normal Country Ball videos, so the fact that Pixelball does them in this pixelated format is beyond impressive. Hell, even the joke videos have some awesome animations. Like, look at the scene where Ireland brutally murders Latvia after the British fill the water with tea. If that isn't a 10 out of 10 performance, I don't know what is. I would give this an 11 out of 10 if it was possible. And like, all these little animations, these little retro game sound effects that fit in perfectly. So I'm going to skip dialogue for now and give audio a 9. The only reason I'm removing a point here is that the music isn't always the most fitting. Like, I get that it could be hard to come across chiptunes, but there's probably like 1,000 ancient JRPGs out there that could end up having the perfect soundtrack for a mapping video. Dialogue gets an 8, it's simple yet effective, which works well for the pixelated text box. Finally, originality gets an 11 out of 10 for obvious reason. Yes, I said it wasn't possible earlier, but this is my channel, my rules, and I wanted to cleverly subvert myself, okay? Pixelball is the kind of variety mapping needs. He's like the second coming of Zeta, the Nigerian-American mapper, someone who pushes the genre further in unique and unexpected ways. Please, if you're considering watching anyone from this video, I implore you to go out and watch this massively underrated creator. Pixelball gets a 46 out of 50 to encourage you further to watch him, and the others, I'm going to end this video right now. Merry Christmas.